Have you ever laid awake at night wondering if that number in your retirement account is actually enough to stop working forever? What if I told you that most people are asking the wrong question entirely and the real answer might shock you? I'm about to reveal the brutal truth about retirement planning that financial advisors don't want you to know. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll have a completely different perspective on whether you can actually afford to retire. Let's start with the elephant in the room. The traditional advice says you need about $1 million to retire comfortably. But here's where it gets interesting. That magic number was created decades ago when life expectancy was shorter, healthcare was cheaper, and inflation wasn't eating away at your purchasing power like a hungry monster. The reality is that retirement isn't just about having enough money. It's about having enough money for the right things at the right time, and this is where most people mess up completely. Think about it this way. Your retirement isn't one long vacation. It's actually 3 distinct phases, each with wildly different financial needs. Phase 1 is what I call the go-go years. You're healthy, active, and probably spending more money than you ever did while working. You're traveling, pursuing hobbies, maybe even starting the business you always dreamed about. Then comes phase 2, the slow-go years. Your energy starts to decline, but your healthcare costs begin climbing. You're spending less on adventures, but more on medical bills and assistance around the house. Finally, there's phase 3, the no-go years, limited mobility, potential long-term care needs, and healthcare expenses that can drain even the most well-funded retirement accounts. Now here's what's fascinating. Most retirement calculators assume your spending will decrease in retirement. They're dead wrong. Studies show that many retirees actually spend more in their first decade of retirement than they did in their final working years. But wait, there's more to this puzzle. The real question isn't whether you have enough money. It's whether your money will maintain its value over time. Inflation is the silent killer of retirement dreams. At just 3% annual inflation, your purchasing power gets cut in half every 23 years. Let me paint you a picture. If you retire today with what seems like plenty of money, that same lifestyle will cost you twice as much in 23 years. Are you prepared for that reality? Here's another curveball that nobody talks about. Social Security might not be there in the way you expect. The trustees' report shows that without changes, Social Security can only pay about 77% of scheduled benefits starting in 2034. That is less than 10 years away. So, what does this mean for your retirement planning? It means you need to think beyond just accumulating money. You need to think about creating income streams that can adapt and grow. The wealthy don't just save money for retirement. They create systems that generate income regardless of market conditions. Real estate investments, dividend-paying stocks, business ownership, and even intellectual property can provide income that doesn't depend on withdrawing from a finite account. But here's something even more important than money. Your health is your greatest asset in retirement. A major health crisis can wipe out decades of careful saving in just a few years. The average cost of a nursing home is over $100,000 annually. Long-term care insurance isn't just a nice-to-have. It's essential protection for your retirement funds. Now, let's talk about the psychological side of retirement that nobody prepares for. Money anxiety doesn't magically disappear when you stop working. In fact, it often gets worse. You're no longer earning a paycheck, and every withdrawal from your retirement account feels like you're spending your future. This is why having a clear withdrawal strategy is crucial. The old 4% rule might not work anymore, with longer lifespans and market volatility. Many experts now recommend a more flexible approach that adjusts based on market conditions and your changing needs. Here's a strategy that might surprise you. Instead of asking if you have enough money to retire, ask if you have enough money to retire the way you want to retire. Maybe full retirement isn't the answer. Maybe a phased retirement where you gradually reduce your working hours while building other income. Sources is smarter. The gig economy has created opportunities that didn't exist for previous generations. You can monetize skills and hobbies in ways that weren't possible before. Teaching, consulting, creating content, or running a small business can provide both income and purpose in retirement. Speaking of purpose, here's something critical people who retire without a sense of purpose often struggle with depression and health issues, which ironically costs more money. Your retirement plan should include not just financial preparation, but also planning for how you'll spend your time meaningfully. So, do you have enough money to retire? The answer depends on what retirement means to you. If retirement means sitting on the beach doing nothing for 30 years, you probably need more money than you think. But if retirement means having the freedom to choose how you spend your time while maintaining financial security, then the answer might be more achievable than you realize. Start by defining what retirement actually looks like for you. Then build a plan that addresses not just the money, but the health, purpose, and flexibility you'll need. Because the best retirement isn't about having the most money. It's about having enough money to live the life you actually want. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Feel free to drop a comment. See you on the next video.